You heard what gets measured gets managed. Where it turns out my bank measures how much money I actually have and not how much I plan to have. They're funny that way. Well, let's get to it. Welcome. Another fabulous episode of IBF On Demand. I'm your living the dream and getting paid host, Eric Wilson. You can find me, Eric at IBF.org. That's Eric at IBF.org. Thanks for the follows and subscribes. Once again, I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you get these podcasts. You can find me there and you can follow me there as well. Also, while you're at it, give a shout out and thanks to Arkiva, our sponsor, driving business transformation by solving what others cannot. Thank you, Arkiva. Great sponsor, wonderful product. Check them out as well. Well, I'm going to be wrapping up 2024 real soon, and you need to be a part of 2025. So please check out IBF.org. A lot of great content there as well, but there's a lot of going on in 2025 that you need to be part of. So if you're currently not part of that mailing list, check out IBF.org, drop in your email there, keep informed of what's going on. A lot of great conferences, a lot of great content. There's a lot going on, so please check that out. And I will be writing another book because I was sitting around and I just had to write another book. The Practical Guide for Sales and Operations Planning, S&OP IBP, came out in June. That was a good 6 months ago. I got to do something else. So I'm actually starting my new book. I'm actually going to be doing a survey that you can help out with. You're going to be more information coming on that. But look for that survey in my LinkedIn. Go back to my LinkedIn page. Find that survey. I'm looking for information. The book is going to be on the fundamental differences in cultural norms and practices among participants in a multi-international global S&OP process and environments, and how it significantly impacts decision-making, collaboration, overall performance. So basically, the impact of different cultures on global S&OP processes. That's what I'm really tackling, but I'm really going from a research perspective, so I'm going to need to do a lot of research for this. So your information can help with that. I'm going to have a survey, and some multi-international or international inputs are definitely encouraged. If you can't find it there and you want more information, find me, Eric at IBF.org. That's Eric at IBF.org. And I'll reach out to you personally because I'm looking for stories, looking for research. So if you want to be part of this next venture, find me there as well. Today, though, I'm going to focus on cash. I'm going to get paid. No, I'm focusing on cash and really that connecting cash and finances to an S&OP process. Companies, obviously, they make financial decisions. And that's what we're going to talk about is how does companies integrate financial decisions into a S&OP volume type discussions. We've hit on this topic before, but I have a new perspective and new insights and a wonderful guest to be able to talk about it. So what happens if you're extremely smart, talented professional that has accomplished a whole lot in your career? I will guarantee you, I'm going to ask you to not only write, but speak at a future conference. So I will warn you on that one. And with that, this is your personal invitation. Regardless of your role, you probably have something to share. I am always encouraging professionals. Write, share, be part of conferences. I encourage you to get outside of your comfort zone and expand your personal knowledge by sharing that knowledge with others. There's no better way to learn something and challenge yourself than to learn something well enough to be able to share with others. That is your personal invitation I'm asking you to do. And that's really how the next guest came upon. She came to one of my conferences. She's very successful on her own. And I encouraged her be part of my book, Practical Guide for Sales and Operations Planning. She contributed a chapter in that book, did a wonderful job. She's now speaking at the leadership conference we had in October in Orlando. I'm sure she's going to continue to be involved going forward. Cynthia is a transformational leader. She's a CPA, multilingual, result-driven CFO at Mexilink with over 15 years experience. She's actually part of Chief, the largest community of powerful women executives who believe that change starts at the top. She's a champion of an emerging S&OP process, attended one of my trainings. Yes, I asked her to contribute to the last book. She took on the challenge and now is a great speaker in it as well and going to be able to provide insights to you. Help me welcome Cynthia. So welcome, Cynthia. It's exciting to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm really excited to be here as well. A great Monday morning.
Yes, I always love great role models like yourself coming on board and being able to share your insights for other people. And hopefully you're inspiring a few people to get more involved in as well. So thank you for being involved in this process.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Likewise.
Yes. So, I mean, as a CFO now, and you guys are starting your own S&OP process, let's just start off with you're in a finance position leading now an S&OP implementation. Why did you guys see it critical that a finance kind of lead or kind of spearhead or be the champions of an S&OP process there?
Sure. Yes. I'll share a little bit of our story. And I think it obviously depends on, the culture and the company and how it works. But for us, it was really helpful to consider on putting S&OP in the under finance leadership, because we did try to implement S&OP a few years ago, and it just kind of didn't get us to where we wanted to be. So when we were at a strategic alignment session last year, we're just kind of just discussing around how can we make S&OP work in our company. And we said, what if, and I was part of that idea too, is what if we put it under finance leadership, knowing that or seeing this process as need to establish discipline in the company. And for us, being a fast growing company, we said, we need to put some rules, some processes, some discipline around people. We need to be as less biased as possible. Because being on the sales team, we're kind of seeing that there was a little bit hard on following also processes that could help us get us to the next level. So when we decided this, we said it was also, or the benefits that I've seen lately on having us lead this initiative is that we have been able to educate people, to educate them to speak financial language as well. And for us too, in the finance department, it has been really helpful to understand the whole perspective of the operational side as well. As you know, in finance, we're well known for just saying, they're the owners of the numbers, and then they like to structure things and so forth. And yes, but at the same time, we have had the opportunity to get to know and understand a little bit more about the other functions. And then we can now jump in and help as well help other areas see how they connect, or we can all connect our processes and our decisions to our strategic plan. How those objectives that we have set, those financial targets, how can we all tie them up together and decide what's best for the company following those targets, those purposes. So a little bit of that. And again, we also finance, as we're well known for implementing ERP systems and following all those type of project initiatives that go through change management, again, through discipline, through process, collaboration, communication, project management as well. So we have seen two great benefits as we have had the opportunity to align and to bring people together through change management, which is also that I am really passionate about that, in following, or bringing transformations transformation projects to the company, where again we have seen how we have partner with other areas, and now what we want to also let them see is that that we are a strategic partner to them as well. We're not the police department, we're a strategic partner where they can lean on to understand better under what financial implications their decisions have. So a little bit of that, but we have seen too, and this is really important, and I'm really proud of it. And we've had this project leadership for the past 9 months, but I already see a great value and benefit in people talking more financial language. And I think elevating or teaching financial concepts to the rest of the organization is really important for them to understand how to better align their operational KPIs into the financial KPIs of the company as well. So
Okay.
that's a little bit of our story.
It's a great story, and I'm glad IBF was part of that journey. You've done that as well with training and other things as well. So when you're looking at KPIs, you mentioned, speaking financial language and KPIs. How do you link like process and really operational type KPIs and other things that the business is running day to day on? How do you link them to income statements and balance sheets? How do you align finance and operational metrics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. And yes, that's something that, so as we started our process, we're not fully implemented on our S&OP project or process. But what we had decided is we need KPIs. We need to start talking about what are the most important KPIs in search of part of our strategic goals is to drive revenue growth and increase our profitability. So that's the most important initiatives right now. So as we go through our process right now, we just basically have initiated our no matter our mock sessions. There are still mock sessions of a consensus review because we're working on tying our demand planning and our supply planning numbers, and just kind of again just getting to agree to one number. And by doing that in these sessions, we have already established what KPIs are the most important ones for our company. And being finance, again, part of this leadership in the process, we have identified that for us, the most important will be, the forecast accuracy, of course, because the forecast accuracy will increase or impact our top line. So if you look at a profit and loss, the first big, most important line is revenue. So by tying that forecast accuracy into revenue, we have also identified that we need a cost of goods sold, which is, the second most important line of the P&L, is where in the cost of goods sold can we be more efficient. So by talking to operations, inventory departments, we have identified that as part of the need to measure how they're managing their inventory, how they're managing the stock outs, how they're managing the over inventory too, or the excess inventory that we have actually. And that's one of the key things that we need to address to improve our profitability. We have identified what the days inventory metric that we can tie that will impact our cost of goods sold or benefit our cost of goods sold. How can we decrease our excessive inventory? And we're also going to be monitoring that. And all of that just drives your profitability or improves your profitability and bottom line just directly. And it's cash as well. Cash that you are liberating, and because of focusing in a good inventory management, in managing your day sales outstanding, your days inventory outstanding. It's very important that we can tie that to our cost of goods sold and see how we can also increase our bottom line by just kind of identifying which metrics have to do with that. from a financial perspective or a balance sheet perspective, we have also identified what I was saying earlier on the days inventory outstanding, the days sales outstanding, which has to do with the working capital, with improving your working capital and being able to fund your operations by using basically your own cash that you generate from these operations, instead of having to go through, or limiting using your debt, where you have to pay interest expenses. You have to use debt in order to fund your operations. And that's also a very important thing that we are focusing on, which is limiting the use of our debt and improving first what the main levers that have to do with our cash flow, which again have to do with our AR, our inventory, and our days payable.
Yeah.
Just to share a little bit of a story too around this. A couple of years ago, we were really tight in our debt, and we were also considering about, should we increase our line of credits, or what should we do? And the first option was always to, oh, let's ask for more money, right? And from a financial perspective, that was more like other departments just saying, oh, just ask for more money. And I was like, no, no, no. So we created a new governance structure where we brought together the executive level team, and we brought ourselves together in a new way of communicating and establishing urgencies and priorities around inventory, AR, sales. So from there, we were able, and it's been already 2 years that we meet every Monday morning, no exception. We're all there for half an hour. We look at our sales dashboards. We talk about what's going to happen, in our next week or so, or any priorities. We talk about our AR dashboards, what's going on with our collections, what can sales do, what can operations do to also handle the customer service, to better serve them. And we also talk about the financial implications of all of this and how we're doing in our liquidity and so forth. And I can tell you that just by doing that, we were able to improve our liquidity by over 20% in this past years. And we didn't need to get more debt. We just needed to all get together to talk about the urgencies and to have also people understand and see that the financial implications of having over inventories were costing us a lot of money by paying additional interest and so forth. So that's how, and we started to look at our cash conversion cycle. We started to look at our day sales outstanding. So I just wanted to share that story because I have seen the benefit of bringing people together. And sometimes we can say, oh, it's just a meeting, we can all have meetings. Yes, but the actions that were made in those meetings, or the key things that we identify as priorities or urgent needs that will ultimately help our cash flow, we were able to see that and to align ourselves on those strategies that again have been great success and great of help to our liquidity. So that's a little bit of how you tie your most important KPIs to processes that will impact your cash flow. So, and we're working on doing that with our S&OP as well, with the whole team.
I mean, I love that response you did. And I love that you focus on cash flow. I mean, inventory, yes, is cash. And we always think of inventory as cash, but we got to really think of cash flow. I mean, moving and turning that inventory. But you mentioned your receivables there as well, and your COGS. We got to think about cash flow, not just cash. And linking it to a cash flow, I think, was key. From a demand planner's perspective, how can demand planners better communicate then financial impact of their plans? Because theirs is sales forecast, theirs is revenue. But how can they, beyond just revenue, how can they communicate really impact of sales forecasts?
Yeah, that's great question. So we are actually, I think I'm going to tie it to the first comment I did where I said, first of all, I think we need to educate people to speak finance language, and to make them see, create awareness in, where are the, within their function, how does it tie, how does their function tie with a financial perspective, or with a financial implication. So I think from a demand planning standpoint, training, educating the team as to where exactly they can generate, or even tie their incentives as to where they can generate more value. Their job can generate more value into bringing a, or improving the forecast accuracy, for example, which will drive better revenue. I think that making them understand, or having them trained to understand a little bit of that financial piece, will generate that, that also, I would say, like that mode of operation or way of operating, thinking about how can we improve this, and impact and benefit the company by impacting our numbers like that. On the demand planning side, I would tell you that, also to share a story here, an example. We are getting our demand planning team built up, or building up. We're building up in our demand planning team, and we have areas of opportunity. We have identified that we need to challenge more our team, our sales team, for them to provide us also with stronger numbers, better insights. And so I think it's a collaborative um, process as well, where demand planners drive this process. But at the same time, if we can get the sales team to understand again how they can impact, how their sales can impact our financial profitability and so forth, I think if we align all towards that same purpose, we can get to have better, better numbers, or we can see better performance in those KPIs as well. So that's pretty
Okay.
much what I see that we can support. Hmm.
All righty. Well, I want to kind of pivot a little bit. You're part of Chief. I mean, congratulations, and congratulations to them for having you being part of that as well. I mean, it's a community of powerful women executives. So you take a second, or share with the audience what exactly Chief is, but also then how has your involvement in Chief, or just being your profession, really shaped your approach to leadership?
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. I recently joined this club, and I actually just assisted to a first event last week, and we were able to meet and just talk about our views, our challenges, our ways on how each of us at our jobs, how we see that we can drive better results in our company. But at the same time, how can we as women be also that inspiration for some other women that could eventually just kind of get to a certain level and then drop their careers. And we talked about statistics, and we saw that once women get to a certain level, the statistics is very high. Well, they'll start dropping their careers, and for different reasons and so forth. But I guess when we were discussing about that, we were sharing our stories on how, what change or what inspiration we can do out there with other women to help them continue their careers. So on the leadership perspective, I joined this club mainly. I mean, and I was invited to join this club to to increase my, I would say, my, more than a leadership role, it would also be the way how women work nowadays in the industry, and how again we can make a difference, where we share how we have gotten to where we're at, and what we can do to get to the next level as well. So I don't know, I guess it's inspiring to be part of this club. We'll continue to assist to um, other events and so forth. But I think that just by empowering other women to continue to grow, it's what it's going to give me as well, the inspiration that I have been able to motivate and inspire someone else to continue growing through their career.
And I think that's great. I've always, thought personally, you need to have role models, and thank you for being one of those role models. But you have to have people who, hey, they look like me, I can do that too. And we need that in women executives to step up and be more prominent and put themselves out there to be able to encourage other women professionals that are skilled to be able to keep climbing to those executive roles. So thank you for being part of that. And I mean, I put you on a spot about 7 or 8 months ago when you came to saying, hey, you need to be one of these, write a chapter for my book. You wrote a great chapter for my book, and okay, you need to speak. You're coming, went to the leadership conference and you spoke. So you've really stepped up. So the last 2 minutes we have here of this podcast, encouraging the women in this audience, if you had a message to them, what would be your message to them to encourage them to be more involved and not stop and to get involved and write and be part of this, whatever it is? What's your message to them?
Great. Yes. I would love to share, encourage women to ask for. One of the things that we women strive on doing is getting help or support to get to the next level. I would say that, it's really important to get support from your family, from your organization, to find a mentor or a coach that can help you, inspire you, motivate you to get to the next level. For me personally, what worked the most was I went through coaching sessions. Personally, I decided to get to those type of programs, and I worked on my personal value, on my empowerment, on knowing that I'm able to get to where I want to if I persist, if I am disciplined, if I work on sitting at the table. There's this great book called Lean In, from Sheryl Sandberg, and she's great at showing women or telling women that we need to sit at the table, even though if it's full of men. Because I work at a company that's the executive level team are 9 men and myself, and I sit there in the middle. I don't sit at the end. I sit in the middle because I believe that I have a voice. I believe that I can inspire someone. I believe that I can teach someone else, that I can coach, mentor, eventually that I can lead a team, and I can be also a change agent. So I would inspire women to sit in the middle and to show themselves, to be authentic, to just be who they are and sit at that table and share what they know and enjoy their careers, enjoy seeing themselves at the top, seeing themselves as someone who has worked so much. And yes, you can be a mom, you can be a friend, you can be a wife, you can be yourself, but you are yourself, and you have to know that you have to work on that professional self as well, that will eventually complement that personality that you have inside, to see your power, to see your power get through it all, through everyone and anyone.
Great message. Thank you very much. I loved it. So hopefully you just inspired some people as well, and I'm going to get a flood of emails and comments of people who want to become involved, and or reach out to you, and you can help encourage them personally. Either way, so thank you very much. It was great having you on, and I'm sure I'm going to see you at future conferences.
Thank you very much, Eric. I was really excited to get your invitation, and I hope, yes, I inspired someone today. That's ultimately, the best and the most rewarding thing that we can give out there. So appreciate it again. Thank you, and glad to be here.
All righty, ciao.
Okay, bye. See you.
One thing that really stood out to me is the emphasis of cross-functional collaboration. We keep hearing that word come up over and over again of collaboration. Guess what? It's not just a buzzword. It's a foundational element that really helps organization align the volumes and the dollars between demand and supply and finance and the larger strategic goal. Collaboration, I said, it's not just a buzzword. It's not just two functions working together. It's really bringing all the business together to really drive to a uniform type of plan. When teams work closely with finance and supply and other departments, they can truly drive value across the entire organization and across the business. We've seen that repeatedly. She brought that up then as well. As I said, decisions are made on finance and money, not units and volume. In an executive S&OP, you're looking for the health and success of a business. Discussions are most commonly financial KPIs that are used in S&OP, executive S&OPs. It's clear that combining these KPIs with financial statements can greatly improve decision-making process. By connecting S&OP, KPIs to income statements and balance sheets, businesses can get a full picture of how operations affect sales, but more importantly, cost, cash, and service. Well, that's a wrap. I'm going to go work on my new book. My name is Eric. You can find me at eric@ibf.org. That's eric@ibf.org. Thanks to Arkiva for driving business transformation by solving what others cannot. Great partner, great sponsor, Arkiva. And once again, I'd ask you be part of my new project going forward. If you haven't seen the survey and you want to be part of it, I'm looking for cultural diversity in global S&OP processes. If you have a story, if you want to be part of this, reach out to me, eric@ibf.org, eric@ibf.org, or check out my LinkedIn page. Follow me while you're there. But you can probably find the survey there. I've tried to pin it so it's up top, so hopefully it's easy to find in my profile if you go through it. As I said, I'm always looking for great guests and encouraging others to be part of this process. So if you want to be on or if you want to write, contribute, reach out as well. We are all about learn, share, advance. We had a great guest today. I'm looking for other great guests as well. You think you can fit that role? This is your invitation. Be part of this as well. And remember, what gets measured gets managed. But also what you do can impact the health of your organization and your personal health as well. So don't forget, wash your hands.